Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel here on Chats with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne and I talk about public speaking because I love it and I want to help you love it too. Today's video is going to be all about networking. So I posted 5 tips over on my Instagram and I thought I'd convert it into a video. There are a couple things that you'll notice. One, if you've been watching my latest videos, I have a different background. I have these big ass yellow pillows right here. And the other thing is I think there's a concert going on because all I can hear is like yells and screams. And I actually just Snapchatted my friends and I was like, I don't know what concert's going on, but all I hear is yeah, and I'm like, I don't know who the F is there, but and why the F I'm not there. But anyway, I decided I was hanging out all day today and I wanted to film this video because I do find value in written formats, but I also know that a lot of people like video content as well. And so I aim to do a little bit of both. So of course, as I always say, if you end up liking this video after you watch it, please give it a like. It lets me know that you like this type of content. Speak your mind in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. And of course, if you end up liking this video or any of my other videos, please consider subscribing. It really helps my channel out and I really truly do appreciate it. Over on the Chats with Yvonne Instagram, we're talking all about networking. And I have these themes on my Instagram page that I dive into every month. And I thought I'd start doing that over on YouTube as well. I think it'll help me generate more ideas and things to talk about in video format for you all as well. Like on Instagram, I'll create infographics or sometimes I create reels that are a little bit more informative on whatever the theme is. And this month's theme is all about networking. Now, I was inspired to do this exact theme because like public speaking, it can be very nerve-wracking to go out there and meet people and pretty much expose yourself to the world, right? But I'm in a new city and I want to meet new people and just really connect with people. So I decided to go on Eventbrite, find events near me, and I found this cafecito business networking event. And it ended up being something that is put together by a group of people and they meet every Wednesday to just meet and talk to one another. And they're all local businesses, small business owners. And so even my first experience, I learned so much. There's actually a podcast episode coming on the Chats with Yvonne podcast where I outline what I learned in through this networking experience and connect it back to public speaking because they really are kind of one and the same. I mean, I felt the same nerves. You'll hear it in the podcast, but I almost talked myself out of not going, and I walk you through what that experience was like for me because, again, I want to humanize the public speaking experience. So with all of that being said, as I mentioned, I created an IG post over on Instagram that is 5 things to consider when networking. And so I want to share them with you all today in hopes that maybe it reaches the right person, someone in need of this, whether it's reminders, tips. I hope that it finds you in your time of need. As I'm talking about it, I'll pop up the picture right here as well so that you know what I'm talking about and if you're more of a visual person, you can see it as well. But these are 5 things to consider when you're networking. Number 1, sit in your car. And as you can read there, you're probably thinking like, what the hell? Why are you telling me to sit in my car when I'm actually wanting to go out and network? And this was inspired by not only things that I do, but also what was said during the conversation at the networking event. So the topic that they were talking about when I first got there was all around networking, like who has tips for networking. And someone was saying, I am an introvert and I will sit in my car for a little bit and mentally prepare to go and have this networking event or this networking interaction or conversations with new people. And I realized that is something that I do with public speaking, right? It's the equivalent of those affirmations. You get yourself mentally ready to go in and have an amazing conversation. And you can sit in your car and do something that will prepare you for that. So whether it's affirmations, like I am an incredible networker. I have a lot to give. I am going to meet incredible people. I am going to make deep connections. One of the things that I think give networking a bad name is this idea that you have to always be looking to gain something from it, right? And yeah, you want to gain friendships, right? Like that's something that you're gaining. But I think part of the reason why I oftentimes don't like networking is because I feel like the narrative around it is you have to see what you can gain from other people. And I hate that feeling. I don't like feeling like I'm being used, and I also don't like feeling like I'm using other people. It's not cool, right? But if we shift our mentality to be like, hey, I'm about to go in there and make meaningful connections, right? I'm not going to click with everybody. Not everybody's going to click with me, but that's okay because I'm going to reach the right people and meet the people that are right for me. Now, leave your comfort zone. This is physically leaving that comfort zone and also mentally, right? So you've sat in your car. Don't sit in your car forever. Actually make it to the networking event. Like I said, you'll hear in the podcast, but I almost talked myself out of actually going into the coffee shop, which was where the networking event was happening. But once you are in your car, you've done your affirmations, you've sat there with yourself, and you've really set your intention for why you're here networking and why you want to meet new people, get out of your comfort zone. If it's scaring you, that's a good thing. It means that you're growing, right? And I don't want to sit here and say everything that helps you grow must scare you, because I feel like that's so cliche and everybody says that. But really, when you are in the situation where you're about to go meet new people and you're starting to feel that uncomfortness, that is a sign that you're doing something that is going to help you in whatever direction, right? Either you'll realize this networking event in particular is not my cup of tea, these people aren't my cup of tea, or the opposite of that is, dang, I feel like I just found a community where I enjoy being a part of. Number 3 is to prep your introduction. If you listen to the podcast episode on Chats with Yvonne around networking and my experience, you'll realize that I failed to do this. So when I got to, you'll hear it some more there, but when I got to the coffee shop, I was real freaking awkward. I was like standing around. I almost went and decided to go into the coffee shop and just simply order the coffee and get the F out of there. I was like, I don't need to stay. But I ended up staying. And people brought me in, right? So I didn't even initiate it, but they brought me in because they saw me kind of looking around. I'm sure they were like, this girl's just staring, right? So I joined in on the circle, and obviously all eyes were on me because I was late, of course. I hate being late. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, but it had to be done this day because I had a meeting. So anyway, I was already kind of nervous about that, and I was so nervous about the fact that I was late, that I was meeting new people, that I didn't even think to say, who am I and what is going to be my introduction to this particular group of people. I think your intro kind of varies depending on who your audience is. So when I was there, I completely blanked, and instead of introducing myself and saying, hey, I'm Yvonne, blah, 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 I ended up just contributing to the conversation around networking. And that was like not the point of it. So by the time that it was my turn to give my actual introduction, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm here. My name is Yvonne. I love public speaking. I teach people how to public speak. I host workshops. I meet one-on-one with clients. I have an Instagram page where I talk about all this stuff and I love this stuff. Instead of doing that, I was like, so lesson learned, Yvonne, and to anybody else out there, prep your introduction. And it doesn't have to be this crazy long introduction. It doesn't have to cover every single part of who you are and what your business is about. That's something that I think we oftentimes fail to do. Like, we think that our introduction has to include absolutely every single thing about us so that people know right off the bat. But the beautiful thing about networking is that you can say something that will just spark someone's interest and they'll ask you more about it. And that's how you'll continue to talk. And I have a very good example of that in the podcast episode. Number 4, let go of your ego. And this was something that was said at the networking event. And I think it's so important, right? We think of ego as being someone that's like, the way that I think of ego is like, oh my gosh, that person just thinks they're like way too good. But in this situation, ego applies to everybody, right? We all have an ego. We all think that things are about us all the time. And what I mean by that, it doesn't have to be negative, right? But what I mean by that is that when you are networking, you feel like all eyes are on you. You feel like you're the only person that matters in the room, because in that moment you really are. You're nervous, you don't know anybody. It's an intimidating experience to go through. So what this person said was that we have to let go of our egos because everybody there is also looking to build connections, is also maybe there for the first time. Nobody knows who you are. You don't know who they are. So everybody's almost like, the playing field is evened out in this situation. So let go of the idea that everybody's looking at you. So we have to get rid of this idea that people are out to get us, or that we're the only ones going through these feelings of just feeling really nervous and anxious about meeting new people. People don't even know who we are. They don't even know us yet, right? And that in and of itself can be really comforting. If we can shift our mentality from, oh my gosh, all eyes are on me, to in the nicest way possible, no one truly cares about me right now in this situation because they don't know me yet. That is comforting, at least for me. I think that hearing that actually changed my perspective on networking, because it's like, yeah, you're right. No one even knows me. No one knows who I am. I'm self-conscious about me. Everybody else is self-conscious about themselves. So let me just get rid of that ego. And don't nobody care about me. Until they do, right? Until they meet you and then they do care about you. And number 5, remembering faces. I think that for me specifically, I always remember a face, and it's sometimes hard to remember a name because I am a creature of habits, I guess, and I have to repeat your name multiple times for me to commit it to memory. I'm not one of those people that just remembers names, and that is okay. When you go to a networking event, right, you meet someone for the first time, there's this pressure to feel like, okay, I have got to remember your name. And yes, to some extent, try your hardest, right? But at the next networking event that you go to, if you see this person again, you remember their face, it is totally okay to go up to them and be like, hey, we met at that last event, and please excuse me, I completely forgot your name, but I remember your face and I wanted to make sure to come say hi to you. Probably the other person, if they're good with names, they'll remember your name, but most likely they don't remember your name either, but they remember your face. And that's important. That's how you start building these connections. It's like, okay, you reinforce the name, and next time, the third time, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on, that you see them, you'll know them, and you'll know them by name. And the last thing is to just do it. I know it sounds like, okay, Yvonne, just do it. It's not that easy. But think about how much more there is to you as a person and how much more impactful you can be when you connect with other people. Part of, for me at least, moving to a different city and just being here on my own, the transition has been really unique. One, in that I've been traveling to a lot of places more often than not, but the other part is I want to, and I need to, and I crave community, right? Like, I want to find my community here, and I want to contribute to the community as much as possible. One of the things that I've learned through me meeting new people and trying to network, right, to build connections, is that when I step into a networking situation, what matters to me isn't so much what I can gain from people, but what I can give. And that has changed my perspective on how I think about networking and how I approach it. And it's actually made me enjoy it a little bit more. Similar to public speaking, I think that when you step into it feeling like there is something that you can contribute, you start to feel more connected to it. And the more you do it, the more you'll realize that, hey, I'm actually kind of good at this, or I actually enjoy it. So networking is sort of this leg of public speaking, I would call it. And I wanted to touch on it here because I find that I felt the same emotions that I normally do with public speaking, which is I get nervous, I get doubtful, and then at the end of it, after it's done, after I'm going through it, once I do that reflection piece, which I always talk about, I'm like, damn, I am so glad that I did that. That was fun. I want to do it again. I met cool people. I connected with people, and I'm building community. And that is what public speaking is as well. And that's all that I've got today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and remember to hit that subscribe button. I truly, truly appreciate you. It really helps support my channel and get more people to love the art of public speaking. Bye, everybody.